are arrested on the Kenya-Somalia border. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Our sign language interpreter is Marisha Owiti. Now we begin, and a final audit report on the voters register has confirmed that over 92,000 dead voters exist on the current IEBC's voter register. Well, this follows the verification of their details from the Civil Registration Department. The revelations are part of an audit report by KPMG, and as Duncan Hyamba now reports, the firm is recommending thorough cleaning of the voters register before the general election.
After nearly a month of scrutiny of the IEBC voters' roll by KPMG audit firm, a verdict has been delivered.
We've identified that there is 92,277 of them who are in the register. They are above 18, and their exact names and their exact IDs. So the task ahead for the IEBC is pretty simple. It's to go and expunge 92,277 immediately off the register. And that list has been provided, broken down by county and by ward.
However, that appears to be just a drop in the ocean as far as sanitizing the voters' register is concerned, as a bombshell which might cause the political class sleepless nights was dropped.
You end up with a number of 1,037,260 deceased persons who are potentially in the register of voters.
KPMG says of the 2.3 million deceased persons, only 970,895 have been registered as deceased. And from that 970,000, it is only 435,175 persons whose details are available, and it's from that figure that the 92,000 dead voters were accurately identified, whose details need to be removed from the voters' register.
We had duplicated records between 1 and 35. There was, at one station, we had one ID number used 35 times within the register of voters.
The audit firm's CEO also delivered bad news to some that might have registered as voters using passports.
If you used a passport to register, and if that passport is going to be expired on the 8th of August, as matters stand now, you would not be able to vote.
Biometric identification should be the primary means and mechanism for identification of voters on polling day. Primary mechanism. Because in the event that it is not the primary mechanism, the likelihood of those potential 1 million or so voters being abused increases.
The recommendations you have made, as IEBC, we shall implement them.
At the same time, IEBC has announced it has awarded the tender for ballot papers to the Dubai-based Al Ghurair Printing and Publishing Company to deliver 120 million ballot papers together with election results forms and poll registers.
The firm has experience in African countries, part of Asia, Middle East, among other regions. The prices offered by this company in the previous contracts were competitive and within prevailing market rates. The firm has a reputation of being efficient and reliable in terms of delivery.
Political parties have until 24th June to submit their respective party lists. The removal of over 92,000 verified dead voters plus another potential figure of slightly over 1 million will definitely reduce the number of current 19 million registered voters by over 1.1 million, which will have serious ramifications, particularly to the leading top contenders, NASA and Jubilee, given that as it stands, it appears this will be a game of numbers. Duncan Hyamba, KTN News, Nairobi.
Now, the Kenyan media has released guidelines for the presidential debate lined up for July. The regulations have, however, elicited swift reactions from the independent presidential candidates who have threatened to sue, citing violation of the Constitution. Take a look.
The set of guidelines released by the Debates Media Limited indicate that the presidential debate will be held in 3 parts in the course of July, on the 10th, the 17th and 24th. Presidential candidates will participate in 2 parts, while one will host the deputy presidential candidates. The debate that will run for 90 uninterrupted minutes will be centered around matters good governance, human rights, democracy, national unity, the rule of law, among other matters of national interest. For candidates to be eligible to participate in this year's debate, a set of requirements have been rolled out requiring them to have been cleared to run for office by the IEBC, to have attained at least 5% popular support in at least 2 national opinion polls by reputable research firms, and if not, be relegated to take part in separate single pool debates to be conducted on the same dates.
At least 5% of popular support countrywide, based on some opinion polls or research firms. They have also not disclosed to us who are these research firms, but we will tell you who we think they are shortly. So in other words, this selection criteria alone contradicts even the guiding principles of this debate, which are really constitutional. It offends a number of our laws. Number one, it offends the Constitution of Kenya, particularly the Bill of Rights, issues to do with equality, non-discrimination, and it also offends the principles of governance.
Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta are at the helm of a tribal dynastic hegemony which does not require any ideas. And in fact, if there are 2 people who do not need to be in this debate because Kenyans are not going to get any value out of their contribution, it is these 2.
Each candidate shall be given 90 seconds to make an opening statement, 90 seconds for a closing statement, and 2 minutes to respond to questions and a right of reply. Insulting gestures and derogatory language is prohibited. The debate